All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going on a mission briefing tour of the SuperCloud Composer, or SCC, dashboard. Now, if you manage a data center, you already know that keeping track of every single server, cooling unit, and power supply, well, it's kind of like trying to monitor a massive living, breathing organism, right? So let's dive right in and see exactly how Supermicro's software helps you do exactly that.
You know, the user guide actually calls this dashboard the command center designed for data center operatives. It's not just some boring screen of charts. It's literally built to handle your high-stakes, day-to-day operations, giving you total 360-degree operational awareness of your environment with just a single glance. And speaking of a single glance, just take in the sheer breadth of information here. Through one unified pane of glass, an admin gets instant updates on composed node status, storage allocation, high availability, and get this, even liquid cooling health. It takes a massive, overwhelming amount of raw data and perfectly organizes it into these really easily digestible visual quadrants.
To keep us from getting lost in the technical weeds today, we're going to break this tour down into 5 key areas. First, the command center. Second, rack server pod health. Third, monitoring system vitals. Fourth, liquid cooling health checks. And finally, number 5, tactical drill downs and search. Okay, starting off with Section 1, the command center and dashboard basics. Because before you can analyze all that data, you've got to understand the tools that let you customize how it's actually presented. Right, so before we get into the heavy metrics, let's talk manipulation. In pretty much every table inside the SCC, you have the flexibility to customize and filter your metadata. Up in the top right of your reports, you'll find your primary tools. These little icons are absolute lifesavers. They let you rapidly reload content for the absolute freshest data, tweak your display by managing column sizes and sorting, and of course, execute some highly targeted searches using the magnifying glass. Moving right along to Section 2, Rack Server POD Health, focusing on the physical hierarchy. This is where we see how the software actually maps out to the real physical hardware sitting in your data center. Now, to really grasp this, we need to get our terminology straight. Specifically, what's a drawer? Well, according to the glossary, a drawer is basically just a kind of chassis that holds one or multiple systems or appliances. Simple enough, right? And the dashboard is constantly tracking the health of both those individual drawers and the larger racks that hold them. And it does this beautifully with a clean, color-coded top-level count. It instantly shows you, boom, exactly how many drawers and racks are operating normally in nice calm green versus the ones throwing warning or critical errors in bright yellow and red. It's essentially an instant pulse check of your entire physical infrastructure. But wait, what actually happens when you spot one of those glaring red critical errors? Well, when you drill down into the detailed health reports, the system does something really smart. It prioritizes the display. It pulls all those warning and critical items right to the very top of your list. No scrolling endlessly through pages of perfectly healthy systems just to find the one thing on fire. It ensures you can immediately jump in and triage those hardware failures. That brings us to Section 3, monitoring system vitals, which is really the network heartbeat. We're shifting gears from the physical boxes to the actual internal vitals of the servers, primarily using the system status quadrant. This view is fantastic because it breaks the heartbeat of your infrastructure down into 3 very specific metrics using these clear, color-coded bars. You've got your power status, telling you exactly what's on or off, your overall health, showing you those OK, warning, or critical states, and your compute system state, which tracks whether a system is enabled, maybe out for testing, or just totally absent. Now, if that high-level overview flags a critical error, you just click right into it. That takes you to the System Health Detail Report, and this is where you strike gold, with actionable metadata. We're talking the physical location, the exact BMC IP address of the component that's throwing a fit, the precise health status, and even a direct link to deeper analytics. Literally in seconds, you have both the where and the what of your problem. Remember those handy UI search filters we talked about earlier? Well, this is exactly what they look like in action. Let's say you need to isolate the power status for a very specific batch of BMC IPs, or maybe just one specific location. You just pop open that magnifying glass, punch in your criteria, and the system instantly filters the list to show you exactly which IPs are, say, powered off and screaming for attention. Okay, let's pivot to Section 4, liquid cooling health checks and environmental hazards. With hardware running hotter than ever these days, this is arguably the absolute most crucial quadrant for any modern, high-density data center. Let's face it, it's every single data center operative's worst nightmare.
a catastrophic liquid leak. I mean, water and high-end electronics, yeah, they don't exactly mix. So, we've got to ask the big question. How exactly does this command center actually present a leak sensor alert so you can respond before it's too late?
Here's the deal. When a leak triggers a sensor trap, the dashboard doesn't just passively flash a little warning light. No way. It instantly generates a hyper-detailed report. It feeds you the unique hardware IDs, the severity level of the leak, the exact physical location and CDU IP address, the specific alert message, and the exact timestamp down to the second. This is the precise intel you need to dispatch a repair team directly to the right rack before things go totally south.
All right, rounding the corner to our final section, number 5, tactical drill downs and search, where we actually take action. Let's see how you synthesize all this massive physical and network data to execute your daily ops.
You'll notice the interface is really built for pure speed. If you just hover your mouse over pretty much any status or value, a handy little tooltip pops up right away to give you context on the color coding. And when that pointer turns into a little hand symbol, that means you've got a drill down. You just click that data point and you instantly jump from a 30,000-foot summary straight down into a super granular, detailed report.
Once you're actually inside those reports, mastering the search filter is an absolute game changer. Here's a massive pro tip. When you use the magnifying glass to enter criteria across multiple fields, the system automatically applies an AND condition. So you can cross-reference, say, a very specific rack location and a critical health status to instantly find that needle in the haystack. Oh, and of course, the whole thing is totally secure. The search values you see are strictly restricted based on your personal security clearance.
So, stepping back for a second, why does all this actually matter? Well, utilizing these tools and maintaining high availability, which, by the way, is just a fancy way of saying preventing downtime transparently when stuff inevitably breaks, does way more than just keep the lights on. The user guide actually hits the nail on the head here. By expertly managing your disaggregated infrastructure, you're helping to maximize the return on investment of each component. It's good for the hardware, and it's great for the bottom line.
From monitoring the overarching health of massive server racks, to tracking down one rogue IP address, to instantly catching a disastrous liquid cooling leak, the SuperCloud Composer dashboard really does give you absolute, undeniable visibility. With this kind of command center right at your fingertips, I guess the only question left is, how quickly are you going to master your new mission control to optimize your day-to-day operations? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep exploring your tech, and I'll see you in the next one.